Well, Tony, thanks so much for coming, man. I know you travel so much, but you just settled down and now home base is in Chicago. Is that what's going on?
Home base is in Chicago. I am in the van for this trip. I'm kind of snowbirding it this month. We've
Yeah,
got events in Savannah, in Orlando, and then Atlanta for the month. So I was like, okay, we'll take the van. So it's been 3 days leaving Chicago Sunday, getting down here, and
yeah,
then working our way over to Savannah. So I did the
cool.
nomadic van life for 3 years, just traveling between events. I didn't do it the Instagram way. It wasn't
Yeah,
all pretty, sunsets and deserts
yeah,
and Starlink. It was a vehicle to get between locations without having to go to a home base. And so
totally.
a lot of love stops, Cracker Barrels, Planet Fitness is like,
Yeah,
and then hotels, the other half of life.
I get it. I
But
get it.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you start something, right? You know what I mean? So basically also what you're saying is like, so you weren't in Joshua Tree the whole time.
No, no. I mean, I definitely had my moments. My very favorite place on in this country, it's called the Cosmic Campground. It's
Where's
in New
that?
Mexico. New
Okay.
Mexico, it's about an hour and a half south of Roswell. But it is a dark sky sanctuary. There's two in the world, there in New Mexico and one in Chile. Um, 22 miles, no light pollution. You're in the valley, you get the mountains surrounding you. So it gets dark as can be there. See the Milky Way, see the shooting stars. It is absolutely beautiful. So I've done that 3 times. Every time I go through New Mexico, Arizona, out to the West Coast, I make sure to take a detour to go up there. It just recharges me, gives me enough energy to keep going, and really, like, there, being up there, it's made me realize how insignificant we really are here. Like, there's billions of stars that we can't even see, and we're on this rock flying through
Totally.
the galaxy, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling out there.
That's awesome. Well, that's awesome that you
Yeah.
found that place. Yeah, it's what strange roads this fundraising journey will take us down. You know what I
So,
mean? Yeah.
like, I couldn't imagine this life. It's been since 2008, I believe,
Yeah.
in the industry.
Hmm.
And yeah, things I've done, places I've been, people I've met. I mean, it's given me a life, worth writing about. Maybe one day I'll get the pen to the paper. But yeah,
Yeah.
this industry, fundraising. I mean, it's been amazing for me.
You get to meet some really ditto for us too. And this conversation and our relationship is no different with with you and Amanda and you all run a family business and so do we. And we've always been huge
Hmm.
fans of yours and what you all are doing. But you get to meet some really cool people. Obviously, you get to see some great places too, right?
Yeah.
Get to work with some great organizations and do some really some really really exciting and important work. But the people, at least from me being in the space for like 10 years, just the people and
Hmm.
getting to know folks and
And
a
for
lot of screen time, of course for us and
Yeah.
everything, but it's been too cool. It's been, once again, yeah, if it's noteworthy enough for a book one day, I think it'd be awesome. I know you're not afraid to put yourself out there, and that's something I really really value about you and your willingness to do new things and take the plunge, so to speak. And speaking the idea of taking that plunge, what forced you down the path in 2008? Tell the audience about how you got started in fundraising.
Yeah, so I was ex-wife at their wife at the time, ex-wife now. She worked for the American Cancer Society, and
Okay.
she was planning galas, and she had a golf tournament actually that she was planning. And at one of her golf tournaments was a guy who owned Heritage Golf Shops. That was the name at the time. And he had a little frame shop, and he would bring six, seven, eight pieces of golf art out to golf tournaments on consignment and set up these little auctions. And he was a retired older guy, and I met him at one of her events. And I was 3 years out of college. I was running a corporate landscaping crew. I had three crews, 15 guys. But him and I got talking. He's like, "Look, yeah, I've got 40 golf tournaments right now. Yeah, I want to expand. I want to build that out. Do you want to do these? It's 100% commission based." And at that time, it was a big leap of faith. But I was like, "Yeah, let's do this. And over the course of 3 years with him, yeah, I turned that 40 golf tournaments into over 130 events. We were doing galas, and we ended up changing the name to get away from golf because we were doing a lot more than golf tournaments. The inventory of framed art and all of that expanded. So yeah, I just found my way into it. And then, it was him and I had a difference of opinions and pathways. And so
Mhm.
I went out and, did some other things. I, followed the tennis tour. I worked with a guy who was selling tennis memorabilia. So for, I think it was 3, 4 years, um, we were following tennis tour. We'd set up at Indian Wells, US Open, went over to Shanghai, China, where we would set up, a booth for the 2 or 3 weeks that the tournament was on, and we would sell tennis memorabilia. And it's like, okay, so I've always been in that traveling, doing. I love the pop up style of things. But one golf tournament that I did, was for the Georgia Healthcare Association, and I saw that they had a winter meeting and they had a casino night. And so I approached. I was like, what if we did an auction there at the hotel and in the casino night? And like, yeah, let's try it out. Like, at that point, there's no risk for them. If we sell stuff, I was making a commission when it sells. It was the best event I'd ever done. Like I'm talking like, yeah, again, this is 20 plus years ago, but yeah, we sold
Yeah. Yeah.
25, 26 frames. I'm making $50 a frame. Me like, heck yeah, like I made it
Yeah.
big. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's something here. And then the associations, I was trying to figure out, my way. But 11 years ago, I was like, all right, I want to be the auction guy. Like that's kind of where it came. Like, oh, no, that's Tony, the auction guy over there.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Tony, the auction guy. I want to be the auction. I want to be everything within the auction. And I had the consignment base and understanding of that. And it just started piecing it together, finding softwares to partner with. And it took a couple of different ones, but now, we partner with ClickBid, as you know, and they've been since 2017, I believe, a very, very strong partner of ours. It's like, okay, we've got the software. Now we expand our consignment offerings. And, now we've got that memorabilia and the frames. And, we partner with y'all with the travel. Jewels with a Purpose. We use them for our jewelry. Like, okay, let me be everything. And then
Yeah.
my aha moment was actually in 2018 in Santa Fe. I was working with the ESCA, Event Service Contractors Association. We're
Mhm.
in Santa Fe. I show up and they're like, okay, here's all of our stuff. And I set everything up and I did everything. It was all online. And then they went from $7,000 net revenue to, I think we wrote them a check for $22,000,
Oh, wow.
and just bringing us in. And I was driving back, to Atlanta from Santa Fe. Somebody won some stuff in Dallas, and I was like, "Oh no, let me just drop it off." And as I'm going
Yeah.
back, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
having this, epiphany. Like, we just managed this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
maybe we got something here. And
Mhm.
that's when the ball just started rolling. Like, no, we can manage the silent auctions. What was once done by volunteers or staff that was overworked,
Yeah.
and we found a niche in the association world. So that's where our focus was. And since then, we have just been booming in the association world. And the
Yeah.
associations, I owe everything to them. I mean, we're going to the Southeast Regional Fruit and Vegetable Conference. Talk about people. I get to go talk about apples and
Yeah.
sweet potatoes and onions for 4 days. And, I get to, meet good friends that I see every year for 4 days and talk about that. We can talk about healthcare. We can talk about service contractors. We can, I mean, so
Yeah.
it's somebody different every day. So it's just grown from there over the last 11 years. And, we just bringing my sister on 2.5, 3 years ago now.
Yeah. I
Best
remember when.
decision
Yeah.
ever I've ever made in my entire life. Like
Yeah.
she's the lifeline of the business now, and she
Awesome.
does everything. She's turned what I created into a business. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
making money when I can and helping out and just flying by the seat of
Yeah.
my pants. And it's like, now
Yeah.
we got a business now because of her.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're big fans of Amanda's as well. So, and we're big fans of family business because we've created one as well. even though we're
Mhm.
not all related anymore. But it's a great story, and it's evolving. You're doing so many events, a lot of in person stuff, doing so many different hats. Like what are you noticing now at events, particularly let's just say for the fundraising audience, for the development
Mhm.
folks and what have you, not just the association folks, even though I know you really, nail down on that space big time. What are you noticing now, as a, now that we're in 2026, and things that folks can take with them that you're seeing, because you're seeing so many different events and folks gathering and what have you. What kind of feedback can you give
Yeah.
folks they can take away? Yeah.
I mean, definitely from the auction standpoint. I mean, and I'm not just here to toot your horn, but it's experiences.
Mm,
Experiences sell. I mean, and maybe it's my little bias as a minimalist that sold everything to
yeah.
to just travel. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing experiences, and the more creative that these boards are getting, just the better revenue that they're able to make. I mean, you have the schools that auction off the parking spots. Student here in Atlanta, parking is premium. So I mean, schools auctioning off two or three parking spots,
Yeah.
and they're getting five, 10,000, ten
Yeah.
thousand dollars for these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
A coach for the day. Football is big in Georgia, so I mean to be coach for the day, show up on a Friday night and get to hang with the football team and on the sidelines and maybe call the first play. I mean, thinking outside the box like that. Our associations, a lot of board luncheons, lunch of the
Mhm.
board member. I mean, just great opportunities to network that don't cost the
Yeah.
organization a thing when it comes to that. But any kind of unique experience
Yeah.
is gonna win the day. You got a private chef that an in-home private chef with a 3 4 course meal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, get your friends around the table and invite them over and pair that with some wine. I mean, those things just do extremely well.
No, I love that.
And
Once again, it seems like, like you said, experience in as a whole, and then getting folks together when you can and what
mhm.
have you, and then getting unique. We coach folks up all the time about the private chef thing, and then of course, yeah, even at my daughter's small school, the parking
Mhm.
spots go for a few $1,000s every year at
It's
the event.
crazy.
So
Oh,
yeah, that's
graduation
never going to go
tickets
away.
too. Front
Oh yeah,
row at
big deal. Yeah,
graduation, like,
yeah,
it's
smart.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super smart. No, I love that. And one thing I've noticed about you, Tony, getting to know you over the years and stuff is that, and you and I met on LinkedIn, which is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I think we could spend a half hour talking about just LinkedIn and what's all there in our world and our space. It seems like it's tailor made for our space. But one thing I noticed about you, and I think it's awesome, is your willingness to grow. Like I have it myself, like a beginner's mindset. Like there's this beautiful
Mhm.
Japanese term like shoshin, where it's like always a beginner's mind, always coachable. But I've gotten to know you well enough to know that you're not afraid to learn new things and try new
Mhm.
things and have that beginner's mindset. I really think that is something that fundraisers can impart as well, is because we're
Mm.
remaining coachable, willing to
Yeah,
change,
yeah.
willing to try things, willing to be a student of this, because things are happening so rapidly, and we can learn so rapidly at such a rapid pace now as well. Talk about that and like where that comes from, or is that just something you've always had, and what it's how it's brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, I think I think in my DNA. Like,
Yeah,
if I look back,
yeah,
like I started our news program in high school as a sophomore. Like, we didn't have a news program. Go to the librarian, and like we started in a closet in the library, a brick wall. It looked like I was in jail. Like, it looked like a
yeah,
cell block, and
yeah,
it transmitted to every TV in the school. So I think just from a young age, I just always wanted to learn, and how can I always be better. And going to organizers and that, one of the worst things I can hear is, "Oh, well, we've always done it this way, so that's why we're doing it." And that is just the opposite of my life mantra. Like, it's being in the auction business. Oh, so you can talk fast? No, I can't. So I went to auctioneer school, and it's like, all right, I'm going to auctioneer school so I can learn this, and that's helped me get on the road to being an auctioneer. And then it's like, And for the last year and a half before I moved to Chicago, I was flying up every weekend to take improv classes at the Second City, and just
Oh
like
wow.
getting more, just putting myself out there. Like I just want to, if I can go through this angst and this learning, and maybe I can help, um, you know, help with fundraising, help with how we can do this, how we can change the process, and it's helped. I did stand up. I did a stand up class. I was like, all right, I'm going to do a stand up open mic night, and I I didn't do the open mic night because our stand up class I didn't know had a show at the end of our class, so that was sold out a week and 2 weeks ago. Um, 75 people, did an open mic stand up routine. It's the most terrifying. I can get up in front of a room and be an auctioneer. I can, yeah, keynote speak. I can do that. But to get up there and be vulnerable, it was so hard. But I
Yeah.
did it. It's like, okay, I can do that. So like we can just, it goes back to the stargazing in New Mexico. Like we're so insignificant, and if we can just like get out of our heads, and a case study in progress. I still, deal with the anxiety and it's still the nerves and all that. But the more I can learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, the better I can be as a business owner, as a partner, as a brother, and as a consultant in the industry. So it's
Yeah.
just using all these little life lessons that I could probably list all of the ones that I think that are insignificant, but that build up what amazing things that we're here trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard that uh, taking the stage as a comedian alone like that is the most terrifying
Mm.
thing, or like the thing that like no, like I think it's like the skill that the fewest people probably have. Right? Is like
Oh, it's so hard.
it. Yeah. How long was your set when you did it?
It was a 5 minute set, and it
Cool,
was
cool.
like improv. Like I'd gone through all improv, five semesters of improv, and had two shows there. Did an intensive right before Christmas with people from all over the world, and we did a show like some of the most humbling experiences, and being with such talented people. Um, all of that I can do improv, yeah, not a problem. But nobody expect like they want that to be funny, but if
Yeah,
it's not funny, like it's in the moment, you just created that out of your head. With a
yeah.
stand-up set, like you spent time, you think
Writing
this
those
is funny,
jokes. Yeah,
like you
yeah,
spent time to write this,
yeah.
and if it's not funny, it hurts.
I
Like
got it.
going through
Yeah,
class
yeah.
was time with that. I was like, oh man, all right, that's not funny.
And you know when it's not funny because it's silence.
Yeah,
That's
they're
awesome.
not cringing, but they're not laughing. Like you'd almost rather them cringe than
Totally.
not laugh.
Yeah.
Like give me
Or boo,
something on that.
or evoke
Yeah,
some
give me
sort of
throw
response.
some
Yeah,
at
yeah,
me. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I've like daydreamed about that a few times where because I think I'm
mm,
kind of funny like in the moment with my family, which I'm not funny at all, but you know what I
no,
mean? Like
I'm
but
the
I was like,
most
oh
hilarious
man,
person
that'd
in
be
the
great.
house.
Yeah, yeah, exactly
Right?
right.
Yeah.
That's not gonna pay
Nobody's
the
funnier
bills.
than me. No,
That's
no.
totally that's so funny. That's awesome.
But
No,
I
that's
mean, the
really good.
difference of having the wit with your family, and then like that's like it's almost like a false sense of security, but also it's like that's your subconscious. Like you are that when you're getting on stage, when you're trying, like that's when your conscious is coming in, and that's when all of the life lessons and everybody that's maybe laughed at you or given you, crap, throughout the 40 years of life, like that all comes back, and that creates the like, "Ugh, maybe I shouldn't." But when you're
Yeah,
with your family at home, like that's where you're the safest and the most comfortable, and that's when like just your subconscious takes over, and like that's the true you. So it's like it's there. I know
mhm,
it's there. So get out of my head when you're on stage and just be.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's part of the
Well,
growth. Like that's still growing.
totally, no question. It's interesting how this mimics the trepidation and reluctancy that folks have to ask others for money. Fundraisers that are
So
listening or what have.
much.
Yeah,
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 yeah. What's the worst that somebody can say is no. But what if
yeah,
they say yes, right? What if they say, oh, yes, and let me give you this? Like,
yeah,
it's so hard. And the one thing I haven't done a lot of, and what we don't do as a company, is solicit on behalf of organizations. It is, I think it's one of the hardest things to do. Obviously, that's probably one of the bigger struggles that organizations have when it comes to fundraising is that. Um, but then you break it down in its simplest forms, and I mean, it's just asking somebody for something small, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the worst response is no. Like,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
that bad.
You're talking about getting uncomfortable and what have you, and they also say like one of the most terrifying things is to get on a stage and have a microphone and ask people for money. And
Hmm.
you've been doing that as an auctioneer. Some of the greatest auctioneers that we talk to are just like, I asked for more. Like the hero
Hmm.
ask, or we asked for more in the fund and need this year than we did last year. Like, what are you trying, for instance, just like tricks of the trade that you're willing to share with fundraisers
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
listening?
I think so. I am fairly new to the live auction space, and for the last 3 years since school, like I just want to get on stage, and just I just got to do it, right? Like I just need to do it, and it has definitely gotten way better. I look back at some of the first ones. I paused early on for about 6 months because I watched a video of a live auction, and I was like, no, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. I cannot do this. And, with some mental strength and, some hyping myself up, I came back to do that. Um, but it's gotten better and better. But here recently at the improv intensive that I was at, I had a moment there. I was beating myself up. These people were super funny. Like these people, were on troops, and some of them had their own studios, and some of them talked. And here I am, just trying to learn. Like, and I was like, as soon as I it was day 1.5. I was like, wait. I think I mentioned I'm an auctioneer to somebody, and they're like, "Oh wow!" The eyes lit up, and
Yeah.
they were so interested in that. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm an auctioneer, so let's change the mindset of that, of why I'm here. I'm not here to be on stage as an improv actor. I'm here to create this tool that I can be the best auctioneer I can." And one of the tricks that they were teaching us in improv is when a scene gets slows down, you're stuck. Dig deep into the emotion and the relationship. If there's two people on stage, like, and you're talking logistics right now, and that's where you get stuck in improv. Like, dig deeper, like tap into an emotion, tap into a relationship. And I think since then, in the past 2-3 weeks, that's been resonating in my head. Like, okay, how do I take that and bring that to the stage? And it's not about asking for money. It's diving into, or this Tuscany trip. It's not just a Tuscany trip. What is that? Is that a memory of a lifetime? Is that where your grandparents are from? Like, what does that make you feel? And so I'm so excited to get into our season and get on stage and implement this, because I think there's something there. Like, if that's what you need emotion and relationship to make a great improv story. Like, let's use that over in the live auction space, and let's do that. Like, on the paddle raises, like, what, why are we here? What relationship is this? I'm not just asking you for money. Like, you are a part of this. Your relation to this organization is deeper than your 150 $300 seat right there. So it's finding that, and I'm really excited to get deep into that, and see what that brings me this year.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. A question I was wanting to ask you, Tony, is you all wear a lot of hats,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
working with these doors. What's your favorite? And if it's being on stage and asking folks for money, so be it. Whatever. What's been your favorite part? What's been your favorite role in working with these organizations? In helping them fundraise and what have you. What do you enjoy the most of?
I mean, at the end of an auction, if we run their silent auction and they come to us and be like, "Oh my God, we couldn't have done this without you. We made more money this year than we ever had. You were so great." Like, those, I mean, those words of affirmation, my love language. I mean, it feels so good. It's just a really good feeling to be able to do that. And our retention rate's high. People want to keep working with us, and I've got a great core network of people that have experienced what we're able to do with expo auctions and now with the live auctioning stuff. It's I mean, just getting that instant feedback from the attendees. You know, oh, that was so fun. I'd never seen an auctioneer like that before. It's I mean, anything to stroke my ego, like
Well,
that.
it's
So
affirmation. Yeah.
it
There's
is. It
healthy
is.
ego too. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. That's
It
awesome.
is healthy. I think I can say that because I truly believe it is a healthy ego. Like I get to do what I love, and what I love is helping others. And
Yeah.
we get to again make a little bit of money while we help other people, and you know, we get to see that in real time. What and year after year, I mean, we're with
Yeah.
these people for multiple years, and now we get to see the growth of their organizations, of their funding, and what they're trying to do and the money they raise this year, we get to see how that gets implemented year after year.
Yeah.
And that just, I mean, it just makes you realize that you're doing the right thing and you're where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It is really fun from our experience as well, traveling around the sun with these organizations
Mm,
multiple times and what have you, and seeing the growth and everything. It's been very fulfilling, like you said. It's been really really cool to create a business in this way and find this space that's still so it's still growing, and still so
hmm
infant. I always like to say I think it's still so new and we're all learning together in real time. Hey, I didn't know. I had no idea about your background with doing the improv and the.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a clean show, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know your taste for comedy. Do you have
Uh-huh.
any? You have like a line or like a bit that you could share with the audience from your 5 minutes that you're willing to share? No worries, no pressure if you're not willing to.
No, I'm willing. So my 5 minute bit was I went to Bali
Hmm.
for a tantric retreat in April.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Now gone through a ton of life changes, relationships, and divorces, and I'm like, I'm a good person at a lot of like, why am I have these little like, why can't I keep a relationship healthy? And so I
Sure.
found this, and you know, my whole bit is kind of playing. It's the caricaturization, if that's a word, of what tantra is as a westernized American. And as a
Yeah.
westernized American, it's more of a sex focused, but it was not that. And I spent the first 3 days just crying my eyes out, understanding that, I have trauma that I never knew. Like, I could peel back the layer and layer and layer. So,
Hmm.
my 5 minute bit was just like making fun of myself going
Yep.
to a retreat that I thought it was going to be this big tantric sex
Yeah.
orgy, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but it was, so I was playing into that, and it was just a lot of fun. Like, I come home with emotional clarity from the retreat. So it was some self deprecation, but kind
Yep.
of telling the story and again being vulnerable with the growth. I mean, I can tell these stories, for the millions of people that are going to be listening to this podcast. Like I'm okay with that. Like I am growing. I am an imperfect individual that is trying to be the best version of himself every single day. And I think that's why the growth. That's why the doing the auctioneer. That's why the improv. That's going to that retreat. Like I had nobody, and nobody knew what they were doing going there. I rode in a taxi for 3 hours from the airport to the retreat with two other people, and we had no idea what we signed up for. Like
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
which is odd in and of itself. But we get there, and I'm like, I am joining a cult. This is what
Yeah.
I'm doing right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on? And then I
Totally.
realized, just you peel back the layers, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's why. Like, oh yeah, AJ from middle school. It's all your fault. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you wouldn't give me the time of day. So it's like, okay, you see that and you realize things. It's like, okay, I am worthy. I can do this. Like, get out of your head.
Mhm.
So that was just kind of the jump start to last year and just the big growth and
Good
so
for you.
excited to take that. Like, yeah, I just feel fresh and alive and just ready to conquer the world now. I'm like, uh, haven't always been a perfect person, but I'm doing my best. Aren't we all trying to do our best in this world?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, it's amazing how
Yeah.
much symmetry all that is, that all that has to fundraising.
It,
Um,
it all
right.
circles. It all comes back, right?
Gosh. Yeah. I know we overthink it. We overcategorize it. And we get inside our own heads. We can be our own worst enemies. That's for sure. There's a ton of strength that can come out of being vulnerable. That's for sure.
Hmm.
And putting yourself out there. Yeah. Happy to hear that. That's awesome. Hey,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
yeah.
really, yeah. Hey, how cool is it you're putting yourself out there like that? And, my favorite form of humor is making fun of myself. And the self-deprecating humor as well. So
It
I
works
like,
so well. I mean,
I
it
like making fun
kind
of
of
myself. Yeah.
humanizes you, right? Like I was on stage and did a live auction in October,
Mhm.
and they witnessed history for the first time. I had to. It was dark, and I had
Yeah.
to pull readers out. Like I haven't brought the readers out in public ever, but I'm on
Yeah.
stage and I can't see my note, and I have to pull the readers out. And, let me make fun of myself while I'm
Yep.
upstage.
Yep.
I'm trying
Yep.
to read something that I can't even see.
Brother,
Um,
humanizing it is that connection. Emotions tie to giving, or emotion, just in a general sense, and folks
mhm.
knowing that you're human, you know that you're living that in real time. I appreciate you being so open and sharing with the audience, and I know that fundraisers listening, or anyone for that matter, will get a lot out of it. Do us a favor, do the audience a favor, Tony. Tell folks. I mean, we're gonna have your LinkedIn in the show
Mhm,
notes and
mhm.
all that good stuff. Tell folks where they can find you, the easiest way to reach out to you and learn more about the work that you and Amanda are doing.
Yeah, if you want to visit us at expoauctions.com, you can see what we're doing on the silent auction management side. Instagram at Tony the Auction Guy. And we've been really revamping that and just like showing the story and having fun and sharing this journey from van life to being a live auctioneer to we're entertainment for impact. Like that's what we're trying to do here. So and then yeah, LinkedIn at Tony Risley. I have on LinkedIn. So yeah, reach out. Like let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
I love talking and I love sharing my story and want to hear what everybody's doing and how their associations, how their charities, what they're doing to make an impact.
I love it. I love it. Well, the story's still being told. I appreciate you coming
It
on
is.
here and telling it, man. Appreciate you and Amanda so much. You know how much we cherish working with you all and the work that you all are doing. Long time coming. I'm just glad you took the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, thanks for sharing for the audience. I know everyone will get a lot out of it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Do us a favor, reach out to Tony and find out more about the work that he's doing. I love that entertainment for impact. I think that's awesome. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly what you all are doing in spades, and it's fun to witness, man. Thanks so much for letting
Thank
us
you.
be a part of it with you. It's good stuff.
Oh, appreciate you, Trevor.
Right on, brother. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you, and we'll see you all next time.